Hello my peculiars and welcome back or welcome to my peculiar corner. If you're new here, my name is Andy and here we are at yet another magical Friday encounter. I really hope you are doing well and I hope you're as ready for autumn as I am, because my mind is only thinking about wrapping myself in a blanket and drinking a good cup of tea and reading magical books, just like the book that we are going to discover today, which is Marco Polo. We are going to dive into the historical notebooks. Again, we are having this one and one more book, so we are going to be done with this collection, but I hope you are enjoying it as much as I do, because really these books are filled with real facts, history, and they're also super interactive. But before we are going to dig into this magical book, I just want to mention something and question you about something. Probably you observed that I am wearing a totally different t-shirt today, and this t-shirt was kindly sent to me by Mystic Quills. Now I'm going to put the description of her account and her shop and everything else in the description on my video, and definitely go check out her work. It's absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for sending me these t-shirts. I have this t-shirt with magical creatures, which I am so obsessed with, and also I have the Ravenclaw alumni t-shirt, which is this one. Now I have to say, these are very good quality t-shirts. I am so happy. They are 100% cotton. I don't really have that much of like clothing items with Harry Potter. You know, I'm wearing my herbology t-shirt, but these are a great addition to my wardrobe, and you're gonna see me wearing them quite a lot in my videos. But without further ado, let's crack on with the show. Here we are back from the Peculiar Library with the beautiful copy of Marco Polo, Geographer of Distant Lands. Now we are back to the beautiful magnetic cover of the book. And here we have the spine. I really love the color of this book as well. The spine, I mean, it's purple, you know, I'm obsessed with purple. And here on the back we have a small excerpt. So, the year is 1270, and a 17-year-old merchant's son, Marco Polo, is embarking on one of history's most important voyages. Traveling along the Silk Road to medieval China, Marco soon meets the warlord Kublai Khan, discovering a land of riches beyond measure and changing the world's understanding of geography forever, including booklets, foldouts and maps, as well as excerpts from the travels, and this beautiful illustrated volume illuminates the adventures of history's greatest storyteller. Now, as I said before, you know, we are already very used with how complex and well documented these books are, and it's going to be the same with this particular book. Just from the first page, you can already see that we have a golden passport, and here it says ticket to the Khan, and you can pause and read about it if you want. And here we have Marco Polo's journey. We have a little envelope, and I'm going to show you straight away what's inside. And we have Marco Polo's actual journey. Here we have the map. You can pause and go through it. Here on the side we have all the locations, and it says shown on a modern day map. And here we have about the journey. So again, you can just pause and read. As I said, these books are so well documented and so interactive. If they would introduce this to the curriculums at school, kids would learn much more. And here we have a beautiful picture with Marco Polo, and here it says Marco Polo 1254 to 1324, traveler, imperial advisor, storyteller and geographer, lived in an age when only kings and popes had their portraits painted. This picture, which shows Marco as a middle-aged man some years after his return from China, was painted in the 19th century. Here we have the telling of the tale in a prison cell in Genoa, Italy, around 1298. And of course, again, all these kind of excerpts and small flip outs. And here it says handwritten books. Then we have Al-Idrisi's world map around 1150, and here we have the beautiful map. And here there is a Mappa Mundi, map of the world from 1280. Now you can pause and read if you want, but I found this one is so beautiful. I mean, it's a map from 1150. Again, you can pause and read everything you want about it. I have some books here and they are taking all the light that is coming on the book, so you won't see that well. Here we go. Now it's much better. Here we have from year 1260 to 1270, a family of travelers making contact with the Great Khan. Here we have yet again another map. And here it says Empire de Mongol. It's in French actually. And here we have it. Beautiful, beautiful maps. Here we have something about the merchants of Venice. Then the journey begins 1271 to 1272 from Jerusalem to Hormuz. And here we have Jerusalem. This map shows the Holy Land as a city filled with churches. Beneath it, Christian knights are shown putting Muslim horsemen to flight. And here we have the Crusades and some Crusader coins. Then we have deserts and mountains, 1272 to 73, across Persia and Afghanistan. Here we have the Silk Road, something about the Silk Road. So if you want, you can just pause and read. Then here we have something about Alexander the Great. Again, feel free to pause and read. I really hope you can see everything. I'm trying my best to bend it in a way so you can see. And here we have the Old Man of the Mountain. The illustrations show the Old Man of the Mountain surrounded by his entourage. And it's about this picture. Precious blue. Some stones. Then we have 1274, a different world, traversing the Pamirs and the Gobi Desert. And here we have Ghosts of the Gobi. Then let me see if I can. I'm trying to open this. Here we have the Silk Road cities. Then Xanadu meeting the Khan and at his summer palace in 1274 to 75. Here we have something about opposing cultures. Then here we have 1275 to 76, Imperial City. Marco explored Kublai's newly built city. And here we have even a map. And Chinese dynasties, and we also have the dynasties by year. You can pause and read if you want, of course. And here we have some paper money and the different currencies in the world. Then we have gaining the Khan's trust, 1276 to 79, the conquest of southern China. Here we have about the silk production. Song Brilliance, again another beautiful illustration, and we have a beautiful illustration of the silk worms. Then Mission to Mien, exploring the jungles of Burma, 1284 to 85. Salt money we have here. Cowrie shells. This we have, it's Prester John, and then something about him. So again, you can just pause and read. Hopefully it's visible for you. Then escorting royalty, 1291 to 92, travels with a Mongolian princess. And here we have about the Mongolian princess. Again, pause and read if you want. Here I have something about the Grand Canal. Beautiful illustration of a clay pot or vase, I would say. Porcelain, actually. It's not clay, it's porcelain. And delicate trinkets, as you can see, illustrations. Something about the river traffic. And then island hopping from 1292 to 93, sailing the China seas. Here we have Nutmeg, traveling by the sea in search of pearls, and glowing red like fire. Here we have failed invasions of Japan. Then perilous waters from 93 to 94, 1293 to 94, crossing the Arabian Sea. Here we have beautiful illustration of frankincense, street fragrance. Then we have Shiva here, the Arabian trade route, and we have a beautiful map with that route. An illustration of the Indian eagle, diamond hunters, fact and fantasy. Making their way home from 1294 to 95, 3 weary travelers return to Venice. Here we have even a letter, and here it says it's Marco Polo's will. This is a copy of Marco Polo's will, which he dedicated to the priest Giovanni Giustiniani from his deathbed during the afternoon of 8th of February 1324. He was apparently too weak to sign his own will, and so it was validated by the touch of his hand. Marco made some small donations to various guilds and religious institutions, including the convent of San Lorenzo, where he wished to be buried, and he instructed that Giustiniani be paid for his will writing services. A family man at heart, Marco bequeathed the bulk of his estate to his beloved wife and daughters. And again, more and more beautiful illustrations, souvenirs, and here we have some yak hair, Brazil tree seeds, and here we have some pearls, and Marco Polo's legacy. And here we have the Fragmauro map. And as far as I remember, this one is a beautiful one. And indeed it is. And here, of course, we also have the Fragmauro map of the world around 1450. The Venetian mapmaker Fra Mauro drew this world map, 3 rivers, for King Alfonso V of Portugal in 1450s, about 150 years after Marco Polo's return from China. This map clearly demonstrates the growth of geographical knowledge in Europe, knowledge to which Marco Polo had made a considerable contribution. The map extract above depicts China's Pacific coastline and the interior of Cathay, which is this one, and then this was the map, beautifully done. Now, I really hope you enjoyed every single page of this book as much as I enjoyed showing it to you. As I said, if this kind of books would be available for students to learn from in school, I think kids would learn much more and students would be more interested to actually learn. It's full of real facts, you know, and these excerpts and booklets and so on makes it even more interesting to learn. Now, as I said, we only have one book left, which probably is my favorite of the entire series. It's a book about Charles Darwin, and we are going to dive into it, but in 2 weeks time, because next week, what is it? It's time to go back to Hogwarts. So if you're curious what am I going to bring with me to Hogwarts this year, stay tuned and don't forget to watch my video next week as well. But until then, don't forget 2 very important things. Stay magical, stay peculiar, always. Bye for now.